Hey YouTube, Colorful Codes here. Today I want to do a video about Microsoft Leap. It's basically a 16-week apprenticeship program here in Washington State. So I'm really excited because I finally got in. And yeah, it's basically an apprenticeship for people with non-traditional backgrounds, people who came from different industries and learned to code and have either 6+ months of experience or just finished a boot camp. So I asked several of you questions on my Instagram of what you wanted me to answer. So I'm going to answer them now. I've only been here for 3 weeks. So yeah, and also I did do a video on this Actually, I did a video on this in February 2017, and it was when I got rejected, but that video was off the internet. So yeah, this video should be a lot more helpful, and yeah, would definitely give you a lot of insight because I wrote down a lot of stuff, so I'm going to be looking on my computer and answering the questions. Also, disclaimer, this is just my point of view and in my cohort, so what I experience or what I say, don't take it as 100% valid. I'm just speaking from what I know right now, and just my opinion so far being here. Alright, so the questions. Alright, what is the interview process like? So first you apply online. They announce it on their LinkedIn and their other social medias on when the application is open to apply to. So I applied, it's a written application, and then you make a GitHub gist with your resume, and then you just wait it out. I think it took them 2 months to get back to me. I actually forgot about it. So I forgot about it, but then when they got back to me, I had to prepare for the interview. I had a week to prepare for the interview, and you do 2 interview questions. So you'll do like 2 technical questions within 1 day, and it will either be an on-site if you choose to come to Washington. They're not going to pay for you. So obviously, if you live here, you would prefer to come in, or you can do it online. And the difficulty level varies a lot because when I applied, actually I've probably applied at least 5 times and I finally got in. But the first time I interviewed with Microsoft Leap, the questions that I got, I would say would be like elite code, easy, medium. But this time around, it was like a really easy, both times I got a really easy question. I was actually surprised. It didn't even touch elite code easy. It's probably like a Code Wars 8Q or 7Q. So think of like on the level of palindrome level, and it's very random because some people who are in my cohort, they got asked the same questions that I did. Other people got asked theoretical questions like design a clock. Some people got asked to merge 2 linked lists and order them. Some people got asked to implement a binary search, so it's very, very random. So basically just prepare for all algorithm questions because you just don't know. Like this interview this year was way easier than my interview that I did with them in 2017. And actually this interview this time, the person who I interviewed with, they spoke with me for like 30 minutes first, and then I did a coding problem. So that's the first question. So yeah, and then after that, they get back to you within a week to a week and a half on whether you got in or not. Yeah. Also, once you're accepted, you basically have 3 weeks to prepare, and they do send you pre-work. So for us, we had to learn C#, and and your teams are chosen before you even start because it's the teams who actually choose you. So where is Microsoft Leap located? So the vast majority of the cohorts are here in Washington State. Redmond, Washington, that's where Microsoft headquarters is. They also have Sunnyvale, California, Africa too. So they have Nigeria, and they're launching in Kenya, and I know they had one in Canada. So I think those are, yeah, I think those are all of them. How big are the batches? They vary, but for the most part, the batches are like 30 to 40 people. I think my batch is like 36 of us. Um, yeah, and they have had batches smaller. Like, I know their Sunnyvale batches are definitely smaller, and they did do a test batch where they had like women basketball players, and that was like, I think it was 5 people. But normally, if you're in Washington, it's going to be about 30 people at least, I think. So what is the structure? Okay, so it's 16 weeks, and 3 of those weeks are in a classroom portion. Unfortunately, there is no classroom portion. Everything is on Microsoft Teams because, sorry for all the background noise, because the coronavirus situation is going on. So technically, we only had 3 weeks in the classroom, which it kind of sucks for our batch, but we've been keeping in contact online. But basically, we are broken up into groups of 6. My group is 5, and we basically do sprint planning on the project that was given to us. The whole point of the classroom portion is to learn about Microsoft, to learn soft skills, to learn object-oriented programming, to learn teamwork. So this isn't a competition. We're all like, it's not like basically, in terms of like, speaking on my team, we're all like, we don't move forward unless everyone understands what is going on and every aspect of the code. So we have done some algorithm practice, but we also have a lot of meetings, and we do work like 9 to 5. And then after the 3-week portion, oh yeah, and we also learn Azure DevOps. Yeah. So anyway, so after 3 weeks, then we go on our teams. And like I said before, our teams choose us. So the guy who actually interviewed me was the one whose team I was put on, because the teams choose you before you come. And yeah, I'm very fortunate, and actually I feel like I got one of the best teams because it's definitely in my interest. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I start on my team, today's Saturday, so I start on Monday. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be remote because of this whole corona situation. But yeah, I'll definitely do a second video on that, on how it's going as a follow-up. Okay, so how much do we get paid? This is actually the best part, and we talk about it so much about how blessed and fortunate we feel that like we're employed at the moment, especially in this trying time for a lot of people. But we get paid $40 an hour for 8 hours a day, and yeah, 5 days a week. And we can get direct deposit. So our first payment was through check that they mailed to us, and then after that it's direct deposit. And sometimes it hits our accounts like even earlier. Like, I've only gotten paid twice so far because there's 1 week in the back, but I got paid on Tuesday and payday is on Friday. So yeah, and we also get relocation if you're out of state. Relocation is at least $1,000. It's more than 1,000. Yeah, I forgot the exact number. So after the apprenticeship, do we get hired after? So that's the goal. So technically we are contractors, but we're different from other contractors, in fact, in the sense that like we're not Microsoft employees, but the goal is for us to be full-time. So in terms of Microsoft Leap, there's a 60% conversion rate. I've heard 68% from Yolanda, but on the site it says 60%. And the goal is for us to just work our hardest to get hired. My cohort, we end right before the fiscal year, so that can be a little bit of a challenge if teams don't have the budget to hire or they have to wait for their new budget. So we were told in some cases people get their contracts extended if the team still wants to work with them or still wants them. Uh, so yeah, and we were also told to network with other teams and all over the company because, like, for example, on our second day, four alumni leapers came in, and only one of them was hired from their direct team, but three others work at Microsoft full time, and that's because they networked and they got full time employment through other teams. So I think your team can offer you a position anytime. I've heard as early as like after your first month, but most people hear back before the end of their fourth month. And shoot, I had a yeah, and so then you have to interview again. Like you have to do like a actual interview, so you can't just get hired because that's just the rule at Microsoft, is that the interns, the apprentices, they have to go through the regular interview process, and that can be either through your team, but in a lot of cases it can be another team that will interview you, so you have to still know algorithms and data structures and all that other stuff. So yeah, networking is key. And oh yeah, and also for our batch they told us that they asked teams to only sponsor if they intend to hire, so that a team isn't taking a leaper and they don't have the budget to take them on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And Aerotech also has good employment records, employment numbers. So if you don't get hired by Microsoft Leap full time, 95% of all alumni work in tech. And Aerotech is, I know in consulting, I don't know if they're the same thing, but in consulting was the old one. I know Aerotech specifically, they are partnered with other tech companies like all over the country. So if I want to go back to New York, I can work for Aerotech there because our contract is 18 months that Aerotech pays us for. Or, I could work for one of their other partners like Amazon or just tons of other tech companies. So you're not like, the goal is to get hired by Microsoft, but worst case scenario, if you don't, Aerotech will still help you get jobs through other ways. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. So what are the qualifications? The qualifications is just, I know, okay, the qualifications, it says it on their site, but self-taught, boot camp, or a CS degree, and normally that's for people, the program is for people from non-traditional backgrounds. When I say that, I'm not talking about like race, I'm talking about like professional experience. So there are some people who were in tech. For example, there's one guy, he has 3 years of C# experience. But then there's a girl on my team, she was like a meditation teacher or something like that. And then there was another woman who, she worked as a TPM at Amazon for 2 years, and there's another woman who was a tester. And then there's other people who are fresh out of boot camps and never worked in tech. But then on my team, everyone except one person has at least 6 months of software development professional experience. Like one of the girls, she had like 3 internships before she came here. 2 internships and a contract. And then another guy, he worked for like 8 months. And another guy was a software engineer before this. So to be honest, I was really surprised how many people I met who were like in the tech industry already, because I thought like everyone in Microsoft Leap was like fresh out of a boot camp. But yeah, some people, yeah, and it's just, the qualifications vary. You just have to have an interest in technology, and sometimes getting chosen is very random because, like I said, I'm almost positive I applied at least 5, 6, 7 times. One guy on my team, he got in on his 7th try. Some people got in, most people get in, I think, on their 1st or 2nd, and it's kind of competitive. But yeah, in terms of qualifications, you just have to know how to code already, have projects, and just be lucky, to be honest with you, because a lot of it is luck, depending on your interview questions. And so good luck. And other things that I noted was that we're given a laptop that we give back at the end. Our teams also plan on giving us more equipment. So I know for my team they're giving me another computer. We're given Orca cards, so that's like the bus transportation thingy, and so that's free, unlimited busing around Washington. And we're given badges so we can get into the majority of buildings. And I really wanted to go to the treehouse, but I'm in quarantine. It's very lonely, but yeah. So we can get into most places, and there's food on campus. Really good food for really decent prices. Unfortunately, it's not free like Facebook and Google, but it's still good and it's still pretty cheap. Like I got a pretty big taco for $2.50, and they're paying us pretty decent. So I'm not mad. So overall, I feel so blessed and fortunate to have finally gotten into Microsoft Leap. Wasn't expecting it. I was actually on a flight to interview at LinkedIn for their apprenticeship program when I got the text that I got in, and they rejected me, which is absolutely fine because I was on my last rope before I got into Microsoft Leap. One of my last. So I'm really happy. The instructors are amazing. Everyone's super supportive. They're just for us, if that makes sense. Like they're trying their hardest to give us the best apprenticeship experience and support and mentorship. And William is great. He's funny. And Yolanda, she's great. And then our instructor, Jonathan, he's great also. We have lots of meetings. And Serena, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone else. Am I even allowed to say people's names? But I'm going to do another video because I feel like there's going to be more for follow-up questions, and I kind of want to record a lot more because this whole quarantine thing has me really bored and lonely, and I want to discuss just how it is working on a team at Microsoft. Alright, so thanks again for watching, and hopefully I answered all of your questions from Instagram. And if you have any further questions, just put it in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and then follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Colorful Codes. Yeah, that's just my @ so Colorful Codes, just like YouTube. My email is codescolorful@gmail.com. Wish you the best and take care. Bye.